Hey, what's up? In this video, we're going to be talking about how to welcome first-time visitors in church, and I'm going to show you the strategy we use to increase our first-time visitors by 113% in 1 month, coming up. All right, so healthy, sustainable church growth basically comes down to 3 things. You want to attract new visitors, take care of them when they get there, and get them to come back again. And the best way to do that is with Plan Your Visit. When we first started doing this at my church a couple of years ago, we didn't know if it would actually work, but I had this idea and I just thought, man, we've been using Facebook ads effectively for a number of years. I think we could use it to actually get people to sign up and schedule a visit to church. Now, I knew that if we could actually have a host waiting for them at the front door, that we would have a much better guest experience. And so, man, we decided to try it. So for Easter Sunday, we launched Facebook ads that ran to a landing page on our website where people could sign up for Plan Your Visit. And then once someone signed up for Plan Your Visit, we actually had someone from the church reach out, introduce themselves, answer any questions they have, and then they would assign a host to host that family when they showed up on Sunday. Okay, so our church is fairly large, but we were floored when we showed up on Sunday morning. We actually maxed out our entire main sanctuary, we maxed out our overflow sanctuary, and then we had to shut down our kids check-in because we were violating fire codes in our kids building. Right, so we had about 1,000 people who were stuck outside of church on Easter Sunday. Well, it works for Easter Sunday, but would this continue to work on just a regular Sunday, especially a regular Sunday over the summer? So we kept running Facebook ads and Plan Your Visit, and we increased our first-time visitors in May by 42%, in June by 60%, in July by 87%, and in August by 113%. Now, after that, my pastors came to me and said, man, listen, Abbott, we got to teach churches how to do this. So we actually flew in a bunch of his friends and had a 2-day conference, and he just had me teach this framework that I'm going to teach to you in this video for 2 days straight. And we helped those churches go back to their cities, and then they started seeing similar results. So we actually launched a church network and started helping hundreds of churches. And now at this point, thousands of churches use the Plan Your Visit model to grow their church. Now, the reason this works so well is because it speeds up the natural assimilation process of people who are visiting a church for the first time. Because now, the very first time they come to your church, they're making a personal connection with their host, they're meeting other families, they're meeting you as the pastor. You're actually going to find that your visitors start to join your church even quicker. In fact, when we started doing this, we found that 80% of people who went through Plan Your Visit joined our church within 3 weeks. And it's pretty crazy. It wasn't uncommon for us to have a family that came out, planned a visit, and on their very first visit would literally go to next steps afterwards and join the church. Because going through Plan Your Visit instantly created a personal connection. They felt at home, and they were ready to join our church right after the very first service. So let's dive in. Let's talk about Plan Your Visit and how you can launch Plan Your Visit at your church. Now, you might be wondering, okay, well, that's great that it works at your church and maybe it works at some other churches, but it probably wouldn't work at our church because of fill in the blank. Right? We hear this a lot. Well, I could see how it would work on the West Coast, but it would never work here on the East Coast. Or I see how it could work in a big city, but it would never work here because we're in a rural area. Or I could see how it would work in Oklahoma, but it would never work here in Texas. But I'm telling you, people are people. Every single person wants to make a personal connection. That's how we're built. That's how we're wired. So this works everywhere. We've literally helped thousands of churches at this point implement this, and it works over and over and over. In fact, take a look at this screenshot right here. This is Pastor Dennis, who says, first Sunday, 3 Plan Your Visits and 21 guests. Here's Pastor Gavin, who said, we had 7 Plan Your Visits this week and 15 first-time guests today. In fact, we recently had a church of 20 people who used this, who in 5 months was able to have 209 families plan a visit to his church. He tripled the church and outgrew his building and had to go find a new one. That's the power of Plan Your Visit. And again, there's nothing magical about this. It's just because you're going to create a personal connection with people the very first time they come out to church. Okay, so how do you start utilizing Plan Your Visit at your church? Well, this is actually way more simple than I think people think, right? So you don't need to train your team for a couple of months and prepare for this weeks or even months out. In fact, you can launch Plan Your Visit this Sunday. It's actually really, really easy. Step 1 is you need to install Plan Your Visit on your website. Now, the best way to do this is with Text in Church. And if you're not already using Text in Church, you can actually click on the link below in the description, and you can actually get 3 months free of Text in Church, and they can help you set up Plan Your Visit in less than 10 minutes on your website. Okay, so once you have that set up, now you're going to be able to collect name, email, and phone numbers of every single person who wants to schedule a visit for your church. Now it's time for phase 2, and this is training your team. Training your team is super easy. All you want to do is you want to go out there and find your friendliest people. Okay, we call them our people. So you just want to find the people in your congregation who are naturally friendly, they're naturally outgoing, and you want to ask them to be part of your new Plan Your Visit ministry. Most people who are already naturally outgoing and they love this kind of stuff, they're going to love being part of this. They would love to help new visitors and connect with people because, again, they're outgoing, they're people, and they thrive on this kind of stuff anyway. So it's an easy fix for them. And there's not a lot of training that needs to go into this. Literally, you can just have a conversation. And all you need to do is just talk to them. Say, hey, you're going to be waiting for the Johnson family. You're going to meet them at the front door. You're going to sit with them in service. You're going to save them seats in service, help them get their kids checked into kids' church, introduce them around to any key staff and leaders, right? Make sure they meet you as the pastor, because 80% of people who meet the pastor on the first visit come back for a second visit. And then just make sure that they have a good time and that they feel welcomed. The most important thing to tell them is, hey, listen, this is not VIP. We don't want to roll out the red carpet and treat them like a rock star or treat them like the president. It's not VIP, it's family. Okay, so treat them like family, not VIPs, treat them like family. Every single person wants to come out and wants to feel like family, and this is why this works so well. I've got one more church I want to share with you and what happened when they started implementing Plan Your Visit. So make sure to like and subscribe so you get all of my new videos as soon as they come out. Okay, and lastly, we have Pastor Steven down in Florida. Now, Pastor Steven called me up. He was about 4 weeks out from launching his church. Now, typically, you'd want to start 60 to 90 days before your launch and start running Facebook ads, right? But we were behind the 8 ball. He's 30 days out from launch. And the first thing we did was implement Plan Your Visit, right? And we did exactly what we're talking about. I said, hey, gather up your people. We're going to have people start planning their visit for your launch service. So he gathered his launch team, grabbed his people, and we set up Plan Your Visit. Then we started running Facebook ads to everyone who lived within driving distance of the church, and we invited them to plan a visit for the very first service. And the results were pretty crazy. So in 4 weeks, Pastor Steven had 107 families who planned a visit for his very first service. And at his launch service, he had 333 people show up the very next Sunday. Because he continued to use Plan Your Visit, continued to host people every single week, he had 107 Plan Your Visits and 333 people that showed up to his very first service. He continued using Plan Your Visit over the next several months, and just 4 months later for Easter, he ended up having 111 Plan Your Visits and 365 people that showed up on Easter Sunday. And he literally went from 0 to 200 in less than 5 months at a brand new church plant. That's the power of Plan Your Visit. You're going to speed up the natural assimilation process of your guests. They're going to be joining your church a lot quicker, and you're going to be able to grow your church and achieve that healthy, sustainable church growth that we're all looking for. Okay, so we've talked in depth about Plan Your Visit, but if you also want to know how to run Facebook ads to get people into your Plan Your Visit, you can actually check out our video right over here, how to grow your church congregation. We'll see you soon.